Do you desire growth in your business, life, academics, and other life-related ventures? Join Ugu Samuel the artist
to get the best out of the gift of life that God has given to you.
On Unizik 94.1 FM.
Every Saturday from 6:30 p.m. to 7 p.m. Hello, I welcome you into this broadcast. This is Get Inspired with Ugu Samuel the artist. I make drawings and paintings supplied to my customers within Nigeria and outside. I am also the author of the book Go for Your Wealth. That book, it's a bestseller already and it's transforming many lives. And if you have not been following this broadcast, I want to bring to your notice that you have missed so many topics that would be very vital to your personal development, to your career, to your academic pursuit, and to your business. But I've got you covered. You can just simply visit my YouTube channel, Get Inspired TV, and look up other essential topics you possibly might have missed. Once again, I welcome you into this broadcast. Today, I'm going to commence by sharing with you a story. Before I introduce the topic I have this wonderful day, it's about the story of few young men. They are 4 in number, and they sought out to meet the wise man within their community to lay a complaint on how things are not working well for them. They went to the wise man the first day. The wise man told them to come the following day. They went the following day. The wise man equally told them to come the following day. It kept on for 3 days. They try sorting the wise man was not forthcoming. So the 4th day, they met the wise man just the way they've been doing for the past 3 days. And guess what? The wise man said, "Young man, I'm ready to address the challenge you bring before my table. But before I address that challenge, permit me to share with you a story." The wise man told them a funny story. They started laughing. People that brought challenge for the wise man to advise them and counsel them with their complaint, they started laughing at the story. And after laughing, they were expecting the wise man to delve into the problem they brought before his table. Guess what? The wise man equally told them the same story. He just told them and they laughed. Instead of laughing at the story, they smiled. And they were also expecting the wise man to now delve into the problem and the challenge they brought before him. Guess what? The wise man equally told them the story. Same story that made them laugh at the initial stage. Told them the story for the very 3rd time. They became angry and started asking the wise man, what kind of joke is this one now? Then the wise man now smiled and said you could get upset in a repeated good story that made your day. Yet you are not upset in the complaint, the excuse, the problem you are bringing without looking for a better way to solve it. And this brings my attention to calling today's topic overcoming wrong mental conditioning. Possibly those 4 young men that met the wise man, they did not recondition their mind towards the problem they are bringing before the wise man until the wise man used a wise approach to address that. So many people are like those 4 young men. You keep complaining over a problem repeatedly without necessarily getting bogged out of complaining the same thing. Yet, when positive things happens to you in this life, you tend to just take it for chances. There are some people who meant good intention towards some people, but because of their wrong mental conditioning, they see that as a threat rather than the good intention somebody meant for them. And this called my attention to let you know that for you to have a sanity when it comes to mental judgment, mental health, one's reasoning must be good. One's reasoning must be accurate. One's reasoning must be impeccable so as to have impeccable result in judgment. Does that mean that we should seek to become perfect? No, in as much as we strive towards perfection, it is impossible to become perfect, of course. But all I need you to do is sometimes sit back and ask yourself some salient questions about some issues in life. Sometimes it's important you sit back and ask yourself some personal questions on how to recondition your mind towards getting you that positive result you want in your respective endeavor. Mental conditioning to getting it right. Once somebody's mental conditioning is not well conditioned, it is the basis at which judgments are made, and your judgment becomes faulty because the basis is faulty. Little wonder somebody defines understanding as the basis at which something stands. When foundation is not well rooted, chances of a building standing is very low. That is how our mental health should be, and that is how it operates. Sometimes it might not necessarily be about what happens to you in most cases, but it's about what you do with what happens to you. Like the recession just came, we are currently under pandemic, and so many things. We had several personal experiences that nobody saw coming. Most people had their greatest breakthrough in the midst of the adversity. In as much as you may not have control over what should happen to you or over what happens to you, but the greatest control of all time that God has given to you is the ability to know what to do when that thing happens to you. That's why it's important sometimes you sit down, have a personal assessment, and know how best to fix your mind. Little wonder the Holy Book, the Bible says, guard your heart with all diligence, for out of it comes the issue of life. For us to have a clear judgmental approach towards issues of life, what enters into our mind, into our thinking, into our subconscious mind must be clearly assessed, must be clearly be weighed before it's taken in, because out of it comes the issues of life. There are key areas you might possibly need to consider in having a mental conditioning. The first point is attitude towards those that are ahead of you financially, career-wise, or in business. In life, it is a principle. God put that principle. Whatsoever thing any man admires is what he acquires. Sometimes, most people who want some certain things in life have immune towards having that thing, yet they don't understand that they are not following the right principle towards receiving such thing they hope to achieve in life. There are some people who have resentment when it comes to somebody who have gotten to the realm they are dreaming for. Instead of appreciating such person, praising such person, and then glorifying God for the good that that person is doing or that God is doing for the person, they have this resentment towards, oh, why must it be this person? Why not me? Why not me? And that, in most cases, is a wrong mental conditioning that will fend off those blessings you might possibly receive over time. Remember, I said, whatsoever thing any man admires, over time, provided you maintain focus and believe and pray to your Maker, over time you are going to acquire that. So, some person becomes repulsive, and when you have become repulsive towards something that you wish to have, chances of having it is far-fetched. Guess what? It will shock you to know that whenever something good, whenever something admirable, whenever something exceptional, whenever something that you dream for happens to your neighbor, possibly your friend, possibly your colleague in the office, whenever it happens, that you can see that person, you know that person, and that good is happening to that person, it means that yours is just around the corner. But most people just miss this because they just have a wrong mental conditioning. Until they say abuse is inevitable when purpose is not clearly defined, having the right mental conditioning can eventually make you to be in the winner's side, and then you celebrate with the person. Little wonder the Bible says, rejoice with those that rejoice, and mourn with those that mourn it. One thing life have taught me is whenever you recondition your mind, you have just repositioned your mind and repositioned yourself towards receiving, towards being receptive for that which you admire. The next point you might equally need to consider is resentment towards the good things of life. During my undergraduate school days, I do hear my colleagues, friends, people around say, it's not by first class, so possibly they have lost the ability to chase that first class. So whoever that is trying the best he or she could to make sure he makes first class, to make sure he makes the best graduating student, they would be so quick to tell you, it's not by first class. So sometimes I do tell myself this, in as much as it's not by first class that determine the success of somebody in life, but at least let me make the first class first and keep somewhere in my cupboard. And then whenever they call the first class or they call the best graduating student, at least I'm available, and it will be that I won't miss that opportunity. So some person will tell you, oh, it's not by first class. Well, why are you reading too much? 2-1, 2-2 is okay. And they settle for less. Well, because most of them don't have all it takes to get to that height. So the few ones trying, they try to drag the person down. So if you are resentful towards good things of life, you will not get it. Oh yes, so blunt. Yes, you will not get it. And you see a young man, you see a young lady trying the best he could financially, doing business, doing genuine business, not trying to cut corner, yet he or she does well in what he is doing, business wise, making ends meet despite the harsh economy, despite the challenges, despite the ups and downs, despite the government policies that degrade, that makes doing business a tough one, that makes doing business not as easily accessible as it's supposed to. Yet that young man have been striving and have made some little cash and just buy a car to make the work easier for him. And when you see that, instead of rejoicing with him or her, all you could say is, it's not by motor, it's not by car. What car is he even driving? What car is he driving? Ordinary this car. Ordinary, and you have not gotten yours. Ordinary, and you are yet to, even if you, ordinary, and you have not gotten to that height. What you despise, you cannot attract. What you despise, you cannot attract. So, have a reconditioned mind. Remember, the topic I'm sharing with you is overcoming wrong mental conditioning. It is a wrong mental conditioning to quickly attack someone who is trying the best he could, making ends meet, and then saying it's not by car, oh, it's not by first class, oh, it's not by whatever thing that you know it's worth it in life. And also in the society where it seemingly look as though the general public opinion forms the sum total of what is right or what is wrong. You see a young man, see a young lady, you see somebody trying to maintain her virtue, trying to maintain his dignity, trying to live in the right path so as to not contribute to the teeming population of those who are into destruction already. And then you see that person striving, keeping himself, keeping herself, doing all it takes to be real, to be genuine, to be morally upright. And when you see him or her, instead of praising the person, instead of making those positive affirmations towards such person that is trying, and all you could say is, oh, it's not by virginity, oh, it's not by moral standard. After all, immoral people still get all these things that you still get. So, you are not having the right mental conditioning. You have to have the right mental conditioning before things start falling into place for you. You know, sometimes the truth is always bitter, but it's still good we share this so that the rest of our life becomes the best of our life. Remember, the topic I'm sharing with you is overcoming wrong mental conditioning. Then you see someone who have self-esteem, a high self-esteem, moderate, nice, good health self-esteem, and then somebody becomes so quick to tag him or her to be too prideful. I know there's a tiny line between self-confidence and pride, no doubt about that. But in a scenario in which it's so clear that somebody have impeccable healthy self-esteem in going for what he or she wants in life, in making a sound decision and standing by various decisions that one have chosen to take. Some persons that have some challenges when it comes to mental conditioning become so quick to attack the person as that, oh, he's so prideful. I faced some of these pressure too. During undergraduate school days, I would dress just to be decent, but some people would be so quick to attack you as that you are trying to show off. You are trying to, what do you think you are? Who do you think you are? And please, if you are a student listening to this broadcast, it is important to call your attention to the area of self-esteem. Self-esteem, low self-esteem especially, have done more harm than good. When you have a low self-esteem, you live by the definition of everything that just come around your face. You no longer have a particular sense of judgment that you are proud about. You cannot literally say no without feeling guilty of offending somebody. It's an issue of lack of self-esteem, lack of self-confidence. And if you have been wallowing in that, it has caused more harm than good when not well fixed on time. Because many people who have engaged themselves in social vices, in things they never dreamed for, majority of it are tied to low self-esteem, just trying to belong, just trying to be safe in a circle of friends, just trying to fit in. Even when you know that you are not convinced within your spirit to do wrong, you must build your self-esteem if you must live afloat, being influenced and reducing your standard that you have set for yourself. Self-esteem is to be considered. Self-esteem, build a healthy self-esteem. Even being an adult is not an escape route to self-esteem. Remember, the topic I'm addressing is overcoming wrong mental conditioning. It is a wrong mental conditioning to compromise your standard, all because your friend is doing it. That everybody does it doesn't make it right, doesn't make it right for you. So it takes a very sound, strong, healthy esteem in most cases to overcome this aspect in wrong mental conditioning. And before we leave in this broadcast, the last point I want to leave you in this topic is believe that it's possible for you. There are some persons, they have excluded themselves, that no good thing can possibly come out of themselves, that no greatness can come out of themselves. I call that a self-suicidal thought. Nothing can stop you from achieving anything you apply your heart to. The greatest force that can hold you back is not the external factors. It's not your parents, not your siblings, not your uncles, not your aunties, not even your friends. The strongest force that can hold you back is nothing else but your mind, your belief system. It is a wrong mental conditioning to believe that it's not possible for you. If it is possible for others, definitely it will surely be possible for you. So whatever thing your dreams are, whatever thing you dream for, whatever thing you want to accomplish, always believe that it's possible for you in the first place. There are some people, in as much as they come from a very poor background and they have this mixture of low self-esteem and low mind, which used to seemingly look as though from a humble beginning, let me use that terminology, humble beginning, and everything they do is humble. I'm not saying, I'm not despising humility, but when humility is genuine, it is acceptable. But when it comes to low self-esteem that look like humility, then you need to build your self-esteem back up, believing that things that are not working for you today will definitely work for you tomorrow. And then whenever you see someone who have gotten to the realm of your prayer request, don't despise the person. Appreciate the person and possibly ask for a way out. The person can possibly direct you. Everybody have their own timetable. Everybody have their own clock in life. When your breakthrough is happening might not necessarily be when someone else's breakthrough is happening. When someone else's breakthrough is happening, yours is around the corner. But what you need to understand and do at all point in time, especially once you want to have a healthy mental conditioning, what you have to have is to believe that it's going to be possible for you. And of course, heaven will always stand on the winning side of those that believe that it's possible for them. All right, I have just shared with you on this powerful topic, which is overcoming wrong mental conditioning. And I hope and believe strongly and vehemently that when you put these words into practice, I will definitely see you at the top. I will definitely start seeing the rest of your life being the best of your life. I'll be glad to hear your wonderful testimonies as to what these broadcasts have helped you to achieve. Once again, this is your favorite program, Get Inspired with Ugwu Samuel the Artist. Bye for now, till we meet again.